Here at Anderson Seed, we've decided you can pretty much garden year-round, whether you're planting outside in your vegetable garden or flowers in the flower beds, or growing inside in your indoor garden. So very easy to do, and there's a lot of things we can do to either start our own seeds to transplant our plants outside, or we can actually grow some crops indoors through the winter time to enjoy instead of having to run down to the grocery store all the time. So very easy to do if you have the right supplies. So some of the things that you're going to need to do some indoor greens, some microgreens, or some herbs on a window box. There's a lot of different ways we can do it, but what you would need definitely is a tray or something to start them in, so you can do it in smaller pots. I like to use these 10 by 20 inch trays because they're very uniform and easy to work with. You need some good seed starting soil. We need a little bit of fertilizer once our plants get going. Of course, we need some seeds, and that's what we're all about here at Anderson Seed. So we're going to do a little bit of microgreen lettuces. And then you need a light source, and I'll show you how some of our light sources work. This is called a sun blaster, and it's a full spectrum light with a reflector, and a very nifty little tool, but I'll show you how to use that here in just a second. So tray to start off with. I like a heat mat. The heat mat will increase the temperature of your room or your ambient temperature by about 10 to 15 degrees. All you have to do is just plug this in. Kind of works like a heating pad, but it regulates the temperature, and it's waterproof, so it's made for using with plants and water and soils and things. And so you plug that in, generates a little bit of heat. I can feel it warming up already, and put your tray right on top of that. You want to use the best seed starting mix that you can get. Our Fertilome seeds and cutting mix is a finely ground vermiculite and perlite that just works great for starting seeds, and you can see what it looks like. And if you're going to be starting microgreens, you don't need a lot of soil. Maybe a ½ an inch of soil through the bottom of your tray is all you need. You don't need just like a large area for root system. So about a ½ an inch to an inch at the most will work great. And so we've actually got just the right amount of soil in there. Try and spread that out a little bit evenly, but you can see how fine that soil is. It's been milled, so it's a finely ground peat moss, vermiculite, and that's all it takes to get those seeds to germinate. So the lighter the mix, the easier it is for those seeds to germinate. Holds the right amount of moisture, allows the excess moisture to drain out. So we're just going to use a tray with about ½ an inch to an inch of soil in there. Then all we need is a seed. Tom Thumb lettuce is a miniature butterhead lettuce. Very nutritious, really tasty, and it's one of my favorites. All you have to do is just sprinkle those seeds in on top of the soil. They don't have to be really close, so I mean just a light sprinkle. You'd need, maybe to do this whole tray, we'd need maybe at the most a 32nd of an ounce, so you're not going to need a whole lot of seeds to do that. And so you sprinkle that through. I just kind of work it in just lightly with my hand, just kind of barely cover those seeds up, so they're not even a ½ of an inch deep. They're almost sitting right on the surface, and that's all it takes. Then what you can do is you can either water them with like a watering can, but I like to use a mister. And as I prepare that water to put in the into the mister, I like a little bit of fertilizer in there with it. So what I'll usually use to germinate seeds is from Bush Doctor. This is called Kelp U, Kelp U, and it's a kelp fertilizer. And the kelp has a lot of natural hormones and a lot of biologicals in there that'll help those seeds germinate a little bit quicker. So between the Kelp U, Kelp Me, kelp fertilizer, it's got all the nutrients in there that the plants need. Actually, it makes them taste really good, but it'll help them germinate a lot faster. So I'll mix this up in my trigger sprayer, mist the seeds down, and then once you get that soil nice and moist consistently all the way through, then we're going to put our greenhouse dome on top. So this is a Sun Blaster greenhouse dome, and these come in a kit where you can get the kit with the bottom and the dome and the light that comes with it. It is vented, so you can see up here on top there's some vents you can open and close. When I'm starting seeds, I close those vents up so you don't have that air circulation, and it'll act just like a miniature greenhouse, maintain the moisture in there. You won't have to water very often until those plants germinate, and then we start venting the top. So close those vents up, turn our sun blaster on, and you can see how much light it generates in there. So it's just like having your own little miniature sun. Full spectrum, has all the wavelengths of light that the plants need. It's at the right color that makes the seedlings grow like crazy once they germinate. And it only uses about 12 watts of electricity, so it doesn't use much electricity at all. And you basically have your own germination station inside you can put on the pantry and watch things grow indoors. So while those seeds are germinating, with lettuces it's only going to take maybe 5 days. Once they start coming up, then you're going to want to open your vents up, get that air circulation going, because we don't want the air to stagnate. With that moisture in there, your plants will start to die off. They'll start to get diseases and other problems. So leave the light on pretty much all the time. I hardly ever turn it off. Vent it, and plants will really start to flourish. Then as they really start to grow, we want to give them a little bit more fertilizer, so we'll switch to our plant fertilixer from Seedlingers, and this is a great all-natural fertilizer. Again, great for seedlings, wonderful for doing microgreens and herbs indoors, and it has everything your plants need in there to make them grow like crazy. So very easy to do with these Nanodome kits. All you need is that heating pad, nano kit, some seeds and some soil, a little bit of fertilizer, and you can start your own plants and enjoy them throughout the winter time right in your own kitchen or in the pantry.